Right, I'm going to show you how to make your very own rust removing paste at home using stuff you've probably got under the kitchen sink, and if you haven't, then it's just incredibly easy and cheap to buy. So you need some bicarbonate of soda. Now that cost me about 60 pence. We're going to use all of that into a mixing bowl. And if I over make this, it doesn't matter because I can use it on all sorts of things. White vinegar, WD-40, some cloth, some sandpaper, and of course, crucially, something terribly rusty. And this is terribly old. This is a meat cleaver, 18th or 19th century. It is unbelievably heavy and exceptionally powerful. I'll show you actually in a moment just how powerful it is. But let's first of all make the mix. So just take any amount of bicarbonate of soda, white vinegar, a spatula, and what you need to do is just add the vinegar and come and have a look at the fizzing. The fizzing is great. The reaction with the vinegar and the bicarbonate is marvellous. So we just keep adding it, and what we're going to want to do is get like a porridge paste, because I'm going to cover the whole meat cleaver in this paste. So it wants to be runny enough to be able to paste it on, but firm enough to be able to stick. So it's feeling good, it's looking good. Might need a bit more. Oh, the smell actually is gorgeous. Reminds me of fish and chips. Right, come and have a look. That's probably about right. See that consistency. And then leave that for a moment. What we have to do now is give the meat cleaver a quick wash off just to take away any of the loose bits of dirt. The rust will remain, but give it a quick wash to get all the mud and grime off it. It's very, very heavy. And just to give you an idea of, you know, what this thing was designed to do, there's a piece of firewood. I'll give it a quick wash off in a moment. It still does what it was doing 250 years ago very well indeed. So let's just get rid of that. Wow. Okay, wash it off. Hot soapy water. Just going to get rid of the loose bits of dirt. It'll look better wet, but of course it won't remain looking better once it's dried. Okay, nice and dirty. Look at that grime coming off it already. We'll just dry it with some paper towel. It's a lovely sunny day, so it's drying nicely anyway. Gorgeous mud and grime. Now this thing was found in a shed a few months ago. I bought it at Newark Antiques Fair for 50 quid. I think by the end of this video, so a few minutes, I reckon I'll add another 100. It's still incredibly sharp. So it's still not perfectly bone dry. It needs to be bone dry. So we'll just put it over here just for a few minutes to dry. Okay, fully dry. Get it out of a piece of oak. Whoa, good bit of kit this. Okay, so nice and bone dry. Just take a better look at it now. You can see the ingrained rust. And that looks like the metal is failing, but it is not. It's very firm. And you can see where the meat cleaver, because this was of course designed to cut through bone, was whacked into the bone and then whacked again with a mallet, which has created that kind of ridge over what, probably a good 100 years of use. So there we have it. On to some cling film. Did I mention cling film before? You definitely need cling film. Take the paste with a spatula and absolutely cover the whole thing. Might be easier to use your hands actually. Don't see why not. In fact, I've miscalculated, haven't I? So I'm going to use another container of bicarbonate soda. Now don't forget it's only 60p, so it's not exactly. Come and have a look at the fizz. It's very therapeutic, this. I mean, you can buy rust removing materials from DIY stores, of course you can. But this, I think, is much more therapeutic, it's much more fun, it's probably cheaper, and I would say it's more environmentally friendly in truth. The reaction is wonderful. So we'll just cover this side and then I'm going to wrap it. And actually, if I just put some blobs on like that, by the time it is wrapped, it'll squash all of the paste into any missing areas. So, quickly whip this off. So that's ready. Now I'm going to turn it over. And do the same on the back side here. Pile it on. Maybe I've been a bit over enthusiastic with putting so much on, but I don't think you can put too much on. Okay, let's just give that a good old wrap. Flatten it down as we go. Missing a bit there, but we'll solve that problem. Nice and tight, keeps the paste moist for much longer and spreads the paste as you wrap it. Wow, it's a heavy thing. Okay, so there you have it. Now keep it wrapped for a couple of hours and let the paste do its work. Back in a sec. Right, so I've left it for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. Now, of course, you could leave it much longer overnight if that's easier. So come and take a look. You've got some lovely revolting stains coming through here. So I'm living in hope this has worked well. You can see the rust marks here peeping through. Now, I've probably missed areas along that top ridge, but I think we can be a bit forgiving because this is an antique thing, of course. So you don't really want it looking absolutely brand new. You just want to bring it back to life, showing some of its age. So this is like opening up a Christmas present. Take a look at that. It's actually making my mouth water. I don't know why. I love things like this. Right. So get rid of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to scrape off the paste because I'll come back to it in a moment. All will make sense. So let's just scrape it off. It's gone quite firm actually. Come and have a look. You can see some changes there. Okay, so now water, warm water, and just a dish scrubbing cloth, that kind of thing. Just use a little bit of washing up liquid and just give it a scrub. And you can see the evidence of paint here. Almost all antiques you'll ever find will have white splodges of paint. It's softened that too, so that should just come off with a bit of a scrub. There we have it. So white paint here, probably generations. The paste has lifted that, and you can see the grime and the residual rust coming away. Got to be very careful with this edge, it's remarkably sharp. So the reaction of the paste breaks down the rust, lifts it. So it's a messy job, but it's a very rewarding one, there's no doubt. Right, give that a rinse. Right, back to the table. So now we're going to take some grit paper. That's exactly the kind of stuff that you would use on a garden gate or a car, a wing of a car, very fine. And what I'll do is I'll take a little of the paste and just rub it onto the cleaver whilst it's wet and warm. And then take the grit paper, give it a little rinse off. Okay, if you take a close look, you can just see where the original steel colour is coming through here, along the handle and along that top edge. Now, I can keep going, I could even put a wire brush on there, and you would get it back to its original steel colour. But do I really want that on something that's 250 years old? The answer is no, I don't. I want it rid of that unsightly rust, but I want to try and maintain some element of patination to keep it looking like a delicious antique. So for me, I think it's as far as I'm going to go, but I haven't quite yet finished. You could go further if you wanted to. Now look, you see, if I just clear off, take a look at that, this area here. Take a look at that area there. That's nice. That's lovely. You're seeing some crevices, you're seeing some patination there. So I want to rinse it off thoroughly, dry it thoroughly, and then the final touch, which will bring this 250-year-old meat cleaver back to life. Certainly not to be used, but to be hung in a kitchen. All right, I'm succumbing just a little bit to an old worn out wire brush, just to take out some of the leftover residue of any bits inside, particularly the damage there, the ancient damage, which makes it really appealing to me along the spine of the meat cleaver. I mean, look how the steel has been walloped over many generations, causing all of those crevices. So just a little light rub down to get rid of any final bits and pieces desperately clinging on for dear life. And what we've ended up with really is something that looks its age, but looks in nice patinated condition. So the horrible rust has gone, but the oxidization, that orange oxidization, which is absolutely vital for something of this age, 250 years old, we've kept it. So that's good. And look at the damage there, the whacking of mallets over years. It's just been highlighted, hasn't it? By taking that top surface of rust off. So now, simply, you could use olive oil, you can use any sort of oil, but I've got some WD-40. You can't really beat it. Give it a light coat. An old rag. And protect the steel. Very, very satisfying. Keeping that lovely orange hue. And that is it. And look at that. I think the oil highlights all of the pitting, which is absolutely wonderful. I mean, you couldn't recreate that. And the colour is delicious. I did say I thought I'd add maybe 100 quid to it. Maybe I was slightly exaggerating looking at it, but I think it's a pretty good job. I could take it much further. You could take it much further if you wanted to, back to its real silvery steel, but I think that would kill it. It would kill its ancient patination. What a lovely thing. Let me know what you think.